Blog Talk Radio.
Try to do. Hey, hey, hey. It begins something like a summer's dream. Kissing you had me feeling like a teen. Falling in love for the first time. Erasing my past mistakes, and this time I will get it right. Then something changed. Your demeanor was strange. Every little thing that I said, every little thing that I did, I just could never win. So I'm in regret 'cause gave you my heart, but you play with my mind. I tried to put in overtime, trying to do everything for this relationship. Still, I got the same slip. Gave you my heart, but you played with my mind. I tried to put in overtime, trying to do everything for this relationship. Still, I got the same slip. Tell me now, what am I supposed to do? My resume is incomplete from loving you. Now I must start brand new. Gotta find a way to love again. So my heart is true. Gave you my heart, but you play with my mind. I tried to put in overtime, trying to do everything for this relationship. Still, I got the same slip. Gave you my heart, but you played with my mind. I tried to put in overtime, trying to do everything for this relationship. Still, I got the same slip. Gave you my heart, but you play with my mind. I tried to put in overtime, trying to do everything for this relationship. Still, I got the same slip. Gave you my heart, but you played with my mind. I tried to put in overtime, trying to do everything for this relationship. Still, I got the same slip.
What's going on? You have tuned in to another episode of On the Move, Unscripted, On Purpose, Ladies Roundtable Discussion. And we're going to have a really, really good show today. We were trying to break the monotony a little bit. You know, normally we would start talking about, the election and, President number 45 and all that kind of stuff. But I don't want to even get into that because then we'll start to arguing and fussing because we all disagree. So we thought we would change things up a little bit and talk about, acting like a lady but thinking like a man. Kim McCann, she actually suggested the topic, and I thought it was great. So anyway, let's tune to my ladies and hams. I miss y'all. What's going on, ladies?
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, sis?
I get so excited when I hear y'all. Everybody, like I get so freaking excited. So y'all know I got to start off we got to start off the same way every week. I just have to. So I have to start off by finding out how everybody's week was. So I'm gonna go in the order of who popped in first. So I'm thinking the first person I see is 942. Is that you, Mister?
Yeah. Hey, y'all. I'm doing fine. My week was good. I'm just tired for some reason. I don't know if this is hours or what is going on. I am just like overly tired. But other than that,
retrograde is going back.
Huh?
What you do to make you so
It might be that retrograde is reversing. It's going back to its normal.
Oh, okay. 'Cause, yeah, I'm just like tired, like sleepy. I'm just ready to go to sleep, hibernate.
Indeed.
Okay, so other than being tired, you had a good week?
Yeah, I had a pretty good week. Yeah. I had a pretty good week.
That's what's up. So as I go down the list, I'm going to ask everybody, mute your phone until I call you in, only because so we don't get the background noise on the live. So the next person that I'm going to slide on down to is, I believe that's 622. Is that you, Armory?
It's me. That's me. Hey, ladies.
What's going on?
Hey. I've had a challenging past week. I've been working on my procrastination. And last year and the year before last, the last couple times, I've done really well. I don't know why I wait till like 24 hours before my CEUs are due to do them. So, of course, that threw me in a panic. I got it done. I work well under pressure. I have got to find a way of just making it a habit so I don't have to put my license on the line every 2 years. It's stressful. I'm getting too old for that. I may need y'all's help, ladies. But besides that, it's been a blessed week. God keep me. Yeah. But that's it.
I already know how that is, trying to get all them CEUs and get the notes in, especially with home health. Yeah, I feel for you, Marie. I know being a nurse ain't easy, boo. Being a nurse ain't easy. But I'm glad you had a good week, though. I'm glad you had a good week. Okay, so we're going to slide on down here. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What'd you say? What'd you say, Marie?
Oh, I said thank you. That's it.
We're going to go on down the line to 216. I'm trying to think. Who is that?
That's me.
Why your number always two? I don't know why I always thought it was a different area code than that. But anyway,
because I'll call you from two. I'll call you from either my business line, or I'll either call you from my business line or the personal. That's why you either get a 770 or a 216. That's why.
Go ahead,
I'll be flipping up on you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how has your week been, Mamacita?
My week has been pretty dope, man. My creativity has been very productive. I told you I'm starting to make my own products, my own herbal products, and I've been using them at the office with my clients, and they love it. So I've been working on that and selling them. Like, I've been selling the samples. Like, just give me a minute. Let me get it properly bottled. They ain't trying to wait. But it's good because it's working. My healing skills, if you will, have been advanced, and just like the whole spiritual part of it for me has been increased. So that's the dopest part of it, and being given that download on what to do and how to mix certain things together for specific issues. I'm loving that. That's all I ever really wanted, was to find ways to heal people, naturally, along with my hands, of course, but it's going down. So I'm super duper excited about that. That's been the whole week, just being productive in my herbalism.
Okay, that's what's up. All right, man. Yeah, and how's the new apartment? rolling? How's your new place?
Girl, I love it. I promise you I'll be running around here naked every day. Yes, indeed. I love it. I love it.
You're having a good week. I can definitely hear the happiness in your voice compared to some weeks when life has been a little bit more challenging. So, definitely happy to hear that. Yeah, that's what's
yes,
up.
ma'am.
All right, so I'm going to slide on down here to, I think that's Deshaun. Is that you, Deshaun?
Hey, ladies.
Hey, sis.
What's going on, motherfucker? I've been gone for a couple weeks. I'm so happy to be back and I feel you guys' energy. So my week, man, I'm repositioning some challenging weeks, just some personal things, getting things strategically lined up, and just looking forward to the fruits that are going to come from just lining up. So just working through some things there with the nonprofit. The event just ended, so we're getting ready to close this year out and go into next year. We've got a couple of really strong sponsorships that are going to or sponsors in the community that are going to work with us in the event next year. So that's exciting. And just
Congratulations.
I'm just thankful for my ladies. I don't talk to everybody every day, but there's one person on this phone that I do talk to every day. But just to know, knowing you guys are, that we do this every week, and just thankful, looking forward for the holidays.
So how did your event go? It was really nice. I was able to tune in. How did everything go? Did it go the way y'all wanted it to go?
With the event, I would say a learning experience. We gained a wealth of knowledge, and it wasn't all in the numbers, but now based on just the partnership, we've elevated to the next level. So it's not a lose-lose situation. We accomplished having a virtual event, so that's accomplishment there in itself.
Yes, indeed.
And thank you for those that supported. Lynn, she was awesome. And Kimberly was a vendor. Patricia, you got a ticket, and thank you very, very much.
I enjoyed it.
Huh?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a couple of technical, difficulties, but we made it happen.
That's all that matters. Okay, well, I'm glad you.
Well, thank you.
So we have another caller on the line, so I'm going to go ahead and pull them in and see how their week is. I don't know who it is because I don't recognize the number, but I'm going to go ahead and pull them in. So, caller, your number starts with 647. Hello?
Good evening, ladies. I was just calling in just to listen while I was working, but this is Patrick calling in.
Hey, Patrick.
Yeah, that sounds like Patrick. Patrick's in the house.
Welcome back, Patrick. You said you would join in next weekend. You did. I'm very happy. I said you said last week. We invited you to come back this week, so I'm very happy that you rejoined us this week. I always love hearing the male perspective.
So,
well, this one is going to be funny and necessary.
Patrick, I'm not going to mute you, so you can mute yourself, and whenever you feel like you want to jump in, just jump in where you fit in. How about that?
Will do. Thank you.
Awesome. So, let me talk about my week. My week has been great. Had a really great week. It was unfortunate that I learned about the passing of a business partner, one of my previous business partners who lived in Chicago, Illinois. Cornell Smith. I found out that he was killed this week, and it's unfortunate, that he was killed on the very block that he loved and grew up on in Chicago. You know, Chicago is an awesome city. However, they have that challenge, and you know, with the violence, and I see that it hasn't really decided. So definitely, we need to keep Chicago in our prayers. We had our differences, you know, me and him. We went through our, you know how that goes. We had our differences. We were both entrepreneurs, very passionate about what we believe. So we clashed a lot of times, but we still had some very successful events. So it's unfortunate to hear of his passing. He was a young guy, you know, he was only 31. So, you know, it's sad to hear about the loss of his life, you know. And he was well known in Chicago. Knew him for events and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, my heart goes out to his family and friends and people that loved him. When I lived in Chicago, I lived near that gas station where he was killed at, and there were several people who had lost their lives there. So it's unfortunate that ended up being where he lost his life as well. So, you know, even though we hadn't talked in a while or whatever, I still, you know, feel bad about the loss.
Of course.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say that. But other than that, I've had a great week. It's been an awesome week, a blessed week, and you know I have no complaints. I thought it was interesting that Kim wanted to talk about. So we already knew we was going to talk about relationships. We kind of already put that out in the atmosphere last week. But it's so funny that she was like, let's talk about, you know, what you say, the different roles, like.
Yeah, we'll still have the conversation. We'll still have the relationship conversation. Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you, Armory.
Okay.
I said we will still have the conversation. We still have the conversation about relationships, but do it from a role reversal position. So you would, you know, ask questions or say whatever it is you're going to say from how you think the other sex would respond. And I'm glad we have a man on the call, because for me, I mean, it would be fun. First of all, it's fun. Okay, that's one thing. Right. But it gives us an opportunity to hear, one, how we sound to the opposite sex, and be able to correct the errors, correct how we hear one another, correct how we communicate with one another, when we can actually explain, no, this is what I'm saying, or no, this is what I meant, whatever. If we can hear how we sound to the other person, we may laugh about it, we may get sick about it, but either way, it allows us to correct it. And I thought it would be fun to do it in that manner.
I got one question I want to start off with, and it's not really a reversal thing, but I just want to know: have any of y'all ever got caught by your kids doing the nasty?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I want to say I really don't remember, but probably so. I'm sure of it.
That is the funny thing about it. You can't lie to them and tell them you're doing something else. They know what you're doing. That's the funny part. Like, they know what it is. How do you know this? How do you know what's happening? I remember my daughter walking in on me. Yeah, I remember my daughter walking in on me, and my daughter walked in on me, and she was highly upset. I don't remember how old she was, but she was young, and she was highly upset. I mean, she was banging on the door and crying and screaming, you know, stop it, y'all doing nasty stuff. I mean, it was hilarious. For her feelings was hurt. Yeah, she was done with that.
Kim, you must have been.
What did you tell her?
I guess, honey.
What did you tell her?
Yeah.
I didn't tell her nothing. Other than I said, Mommy is all right. Mommy good. Bye. You know, gone and you know, whatever she was doing at the time. Mommy good. We all right.
You said Mommy good.
Hold on.
Mommy good. We all right.
So she's traumatized. So this girl is traumatized, banging on the door, and your thing is just, Mommy's good. You didn't have a conversation
going on. It was banging going on everywhere. There was no way at that time I was going to stop to try to explain to her what she already thought she had a clue of in the first
not
place.
At that point. But I mean, later. Did you ever say anything?
Afterwards, but she, like I said, she had some type of clue in the first place. You know, as long as she understood that there was no violence, there was no violence or harm being done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess that was a concern. You know, it was that part. But you know, even after the fact, your child does not really want that explanation. Let's be real. They don't want to hear about all that.
That's the most embarrassing freaking experience in the freaking world. It's like you can't even look them in the freaking eye no more because you know they done caught you in the act like Lordy B.
Well, I got caught when my sons were young. I was married. And, you know, because normally we lock our bedroom door, you know, but, you know, unless we're sleeping. And we were sleeping, but, you know, we woke up, you know, it's just one thing led to another. And, you know, but my sons were a little younger. They were like 7 and 6. And unlike how children are extremely exposed to things now, they weren't. So, and I guess the position we were in was like the doggy style, you know. So when they like knocked on the door and bust in, we heard it through the cover on us, and it was like, all right, you know, they was all worried, and you know, my ex-husband was like, we're playing football, but this is adult football. Shut the door, we'll be out in a minute. You know, my youngest son was like, I want to play. So I said, well, you know, when we. You know, he wasn't done. That officially broke my mood. You know, I you know, the total embarrassment, that was it for me. And I said, well, maybe we should talk to them about the bird and the bees. And he was like, you know, Marie, they're 6 and 7. He said they don't need to know nothing about no bird and the bees. The only thing they know is Ninja Turtles. They don't know. Right now they know that we play adult football and they can't play. So I did not, Patrick, explain to them, but they were very naive at that point. And if they did know a lot of things, because at that time I wasn't working, I was home. So I monitored what they watched. I monitored who they play with. They weren't allowed to go in nobody else's house. The other kids can come to their house. There was no Facebook. You know, computers wasn't really popping. You know, I think that was like just coming out. So I was able to keep them structured.
Oh, okay.
Well, I got caught by grown ass kids, and I was pissed.
You what? What did you say?
I'm telling them, don't just walk in my room. This is before I had a lock on my door. I had a lock on the door, but it wasn't working. So I'm telling them always, don't just come in my room. Knock on my door first. You would think you only got to tell people who yell they grown that one time. However, that was not the case. So, yeah, they end up getting a surprise. I was embarrassed as hell. Needless to say, I got a damn lock on my door now. But it's a daggone shame that I even had to go through that. And then afterward, I can't even look at them in the face because yeah, that was embarrassing.
So after my precious godchildren caught you, you didn't bother to have an adult conversation because they're adults. That's what they do.
Yeah, the adult conversations. Didn't I tell you to knock on my damn door? So when you knocking on my room, I'm knocking on my damn door. Wow. That was the adult conversation that we had.
Knock on my door and then wait for me to tell you to come in.
Right. Yeah, because that's what they said. We did not. We did not. Okay, knock and wait for me to say come in. Don't just come in. You know, that was a really embarrassing moment for me. Like really, really, really embarrassing. So, you know, I pretty much, that was rough.
How about you, Patrick?
Patrick?
How about you, sir?
I don't think when I was married, I don't think so. I don't think I ever got caught. No. What? No, I never got caught in the act. No. There was some close calls, but I never got caught.
Never seen. So if you did, you're lucky said that too.
What's that?
Lucky him. So
yeah, it was only luck that I didn't get caught. It was only luck.
So to get back to our topic today, I remember when that song came out. Who was that? Was that that was Jennifer Hudson and Neo, or Neo, right? That did that song, "Act Like a Lady but Think Like a Man." Remember when that song came out?
I don't remember the
song,
but I do know that Steve Harvey used to have the Steve Harvey radio show, and he would have a little segment where he would give women advice. So as he became more famous and more opportunities had arisen for him, he did a segment with the audience of women who had issues, and he talked to them. And he said, and like on a lot of his tutorials, because he does a lot of motivational speeches, he said that he went from, because he said, I know how guys are, I'm a guy. He said it didn't bother me doing guy things until some guys tried the same stuff with my daughters. Because I think he has 3 girls, he's got twin daughters, and he's got 4 girls and 3 boys. So he started talking to his daughters, and then his daughters' friends, nieces, and then he got an opportunity to write a book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man, which later became a blockbuster hit. But and it was a lot of men who were pissed off behind that book, too. Oh, they were mad. They felt like he gave up the goods, and then some people was like, oh, that's because he's older. Younger men don't think like that. You know, but it still kind of gives me an insight on how men think. And I'm noticing that men think more logically and women think more emotionally. Now, you do have your 10% women who think logically. Like, I think Kim is one of that 10%. You know, I do. Because she got that take charge, I don't put up with no mess attitude. You know, and it doesn't make, if it don't make sense to her, she's not rolling with it. And she's not dealing with feelings, so she's not like most women are emotional. Because my older sister, she's a logical thinker. You know, a lot of people would mistake them for mean people, and I don't think that they're mean. But when you can think like a man on that level on a day-to-day life and think more logically and keep your emotions out of it, it's like you're dead on. I just know that I'm not one of those type of people. You know, I'm one of those like, why? You know, so, but that's my take on it.
What? I never understood.
Topics that he talked about. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say one of the topics that I remember he brought up in his book was saying that the 90-day rule. Now, a lot of people didn't agree with that, and some people did. So, what are y'all thoughts? Do you think that a man will respect a woman more if he has to wait at least 90 days? And do you think men wait 90 days or women? How do you feel about that? Do you think the 90-day rule is something that definitely should be, or do you think if you meet someone and you love them or not love them, but you're attracted to them and you get together and do the do on the first night, do you think that the relationship is doomed from there? Like, what do y'all think?
I don't think that should be a general rule. I don't think that should be a general rule, simply because the woman, particularly the way it was presented, is assuming, first of all, that on day 91 he gonna still be there. Okay, that's one thing. And if it's something that you want, a woman particularly already knows in the first 5 minutes if she has any intention on being with this guy, right? She knows this right off the bat. However they decide to, deal with their relationship, to deal with that part, that needs to be up to them. They need to have a mutual agreement with that where it makes sense for them. To make it general, I don't think that's fair because everybody don't think the same. Everybody's not on the same level, and that's not going to work for everybody. Like I said, you wait 90 days. You can make him wait for you for 90 days. That doesn't mean necessarily that he's waiting, period, for 90 days. And then even if he waits 90 days, on 91st day, you decide, I'm going to go ahead and release myself, he could still say, peace out. And you don't wasted 90 days. Find out what each other is about when you say hello. Find out what it is that you're looking for, what you want, what your expectations are from hello. Then you don't have to worry about the game plan. That's what we don't do. We don't have proper communication immediately. We wait too long. We want to wait and see. We want to play the game. Right. You know what I'm saying? Don't do all of that. This from day one, look here. This is what I want. This is what I'm looking for. If that's something that you're looking for, let's have a conversation. Let's see if we can meet, on the same ground or whatever. I told you about the dude that approached me in the skating rink. He flat out told me what he wanted. Very brutal. And all I had to do was say, yes, I'm with it, or no, I'm not. But there's no reason to waste any time.
I'm sorry. I want to make sure we go down because I want everyone to get their thoughts on that. Finish saying what you were saying, Kim, and then I'm going to ask Misty the same question. So finish saying what you were saying. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm saying there's no reason to waste time. If you both know what it is that you want, speak that so you can build towards that. That is the business. That is the relationship. That's the contract. No game being played. You already know right out the gate what you want from hello and go from there. That's it.
Okay. So, Misty, what are your thoughts on that?
I actually stepped away from the phone. What was y'all talking about? What? I stepped away.
Do you think
90-day rule?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a such thing. I mean, everybody got their own opinions, but like as far as the 90 day, I mean, I have waited and made somebody wait longer than that, and we still didn't end up together. So it makes no sense to me. Like Kim said, decide what you want in the beginning, and ain't no reason to keep. You know what I'm saying? Because people don't like to wait.
Okay. So I'm gonna go down to R. Marie. R. Marie, what are your thoughts?
I think what Steve Harvey was trying to, because he had to go ahead and elaborate on what he was talking about. And his thing is, like, say you get a job. A lot of jobs will make you wait 90 days before you're eligible for the benefits. They want to make sure you're worthy and you're worth it. I've also been told that you wait at least 3 days. I don't necessarily wait 90 days, but I also don't just, mess around. I can't say I've never. I did have one night stand fling that turned into an 8-month relationship. But as far as the night, I don't think it necessarily has to be 90 days, but I guess now that I'm a little older, I'm at the stage of my life where I don't have to wait 90 days. But I'm not going to just give it to you the first. I need to know what your mind is about, because I done came across some real fine brothers and their attitude was shitty. I done came across some mediocre average guys, that don't have the fancy cars, don't have this, but will treat a woman like a queen. When I meet somebody, I'm interested in what do you like to do. I'm interested in our compatibility. A lot of these things. So it may not take 90 days. It may not say, and it wouldn't bother me to wait 90 days. But during that time, I need to find out who you are, because everybody who first introduced themselves, that's not their true self. Naturally, they come in with their best foot forward under a first impression, unless you stumble across somebody. Like if you're meeting somebody for the first time on a first date, then you're already preparing yourself to present your best you. But I've actually went out with a guy that I had to cuss out at the damn gas station. Turned out he was a pretty good guy. So yeah, to answer the question, I don't necessarily wait 90 days, but I'm not going to mess with you within the first week or two either. I guess I'm just, sex is not a high priority. How smart are you? Are you into God? Where are you at with your life? What do you see in your future? I just don't want no lazy person. I don't want no person to think I'm their mama and I'm going to take care of them, because I'm not. I'm not. So with that, that's it.
All right. So I'm going down to Deshaun. So Deshaun, what are your thoughts?
Yes. So I am listening and do agree with everybody. I didn't have experiences where there were 90 days first time. Well, no, not 90 days. But it's like, where are you right now? So I don't do a 90-day. I think really it's knowing, really, again, like with Kim saying, having that real honest conversation. And sometimes you'll know just by, having that conversation, sometimes you ain't even got to go any further. Signs are there, so it ain't even got to be a day, too. But then if you guys connect and you feel that there's some compatibility, you both respect, what you're valuing, then it may not take 90 days. So it really depends on the two. It really depends on the two individuals and where they are, and if they agree.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna slide on down here to the man. You know what I'm saying? I'm so glad we got a man on the line. So Patrick, what are your thoughts about that?
You guys sure you want to know my thoughts on this? Okay, so
yes, sir. We want to know.
So I think it depends. I don't know if I don't know about a 90-day rule, but I think it depends on what you're looking for.
Right.
So if what you're looking for, meaning if you're looking for marriage, then there's a certain way that you should probably go about it to increase your chances that if this person is the right person, that he chooses you for marriage. Because we have to choose you. We ask you for marriage, not the other way around. So impressions are important, but it all depends on what you want. I mean, if you're somebody like if you're a younger woman who wants to start a family, then how you come across is important to certain kinds and types of men. So you may want to take that into account, because there are some men that will hold it against you if you're on the first you give it up, and he's thinking about having a family, and he's thinking about, okay, this is who I want to raise my daughter. See, we think about things like this, right? So it depends. If you're older and you had children, you don't want any more children, then it's kind of different. Another thing is, so there's an age component or a life experience component. A young woman in her 20s looking to get married or something, or in her 30s looking to get married or start a family. That's one thing. There's another part of this that I guess you guys should know. A lot of this depends, how a man thinks about this depends on who you are and your past a little bit. And this is what I mean. So you're dating guys, let's say I meet a woman, and she has and I meet her and I'm talking to her, and she's had flings with, one guy, he's in jail, the other one is out in the street doing whatever, but then she wants to get serious and then make me wait 90 days. No, thank you. You mean these guys get to get it off the rip, and I gotta really? Like, these bums get to get it off the rip, and I gotta wait now? No, I mean that's not even a good. Yeah, like that's a problem.
Okay. So I think personally, first of all, I don't know if I completely agree with you, Kim, because you can meet guys, and you don't necessarily feel the connection when you first meet them. You know what I'm saying? You may not necessarily see them in that light, but then over time, like, they wear you down, and then you just like, okay, you know what, I do like you, you know. But for me, I think when I was younger, the 90-day thing wasn't really in my mind because hormones was floating and stuff, and you know, I might give in after about 3 weeks or something. But as I got older, I just decided I didn't want to be a pillow mate. That's my thing. I don't want to be your 2 a.m. call. I don't want to be your pillow mate. I don't want to be somebody, your side chick. I don't want to be none of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that. So let's get to know each other first. Let's not do this relationship backwards. Let's not start in the bed first and then get to know each other. Like, well, oh, you wake up out the bed. Oh, and what you say your middle name was? I don't want to do reverse. You know, I wanted to take my time and get to know people. And so as I got older, I was not quick. Like, there's been times I've known guys for years and never was intimate, never, ever, ever. And then one day, you know, like, you know what? you passed it. I don't know. I just as I got older, it just wasn't. I just didn't want to do the pillow mate thing, and that's how I felt. I feel like if you meet someone and you jump in the bed with them, it's just like you know, I'm your pillow mate, and I don't want that. I knew I wanted a relationship, so I knew I had to take my time to get to know who the inner person was before I started sharing my body with them or whatever. But on the flip side, when you get with some of these guys and you're not giving it to them, if they're interested in you or they love to chase, they might continue with the chase, but still be screwing Sally over there across the way down the corner, you know, but you don't know it. And so then when you finally give in, they may be like, you know what, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and I've been screwing Sally all this time, so I think I'm going to continue to screw Sally and you know. So I just feel like, I don't know, it could be really a tricky situation.
Yeah, it depends on what the guy is looking for, too. I mean, if the guy is just out here doing whatever, then it's going to be whatever, right? But if a guy, like, there are some guys that are better, they like being settled down. They don't like being out here. There's a lot of guys like that. Like they did it when they were young. Like it's old and it gets corny. And I know some guys like this, right? That they're men who know their worth. They're turning down women who even giving up sex. They're like, nah, not even worth my. You know, and these are women they're attracted to. They're just like, nah. I can see this is not going to go anywhere, and I'm just not about to give up all my energy to this person. I'm looking for a person, right? I think one of the things that if you're serious and you want to get into a serious relationship, don't let sex be the thing that is, you know, it's amazing because, you know, women say that, well, men are always looking for younger women. And in my view, if you're a little bit older, you should be running circles around the young girls because you should know about like things like personality and that kind of thing. You know, a lot of times a younger person may not have developed their personality, especially women. Guys have to develop a personality because that's the only way we can get. A lot of times you can get women. Like you have to be charming, right? Like you have to be funny. You have to be humorous. You got to, you know, you're a hunter, right? So, you know, it's refreshing to run upon a woman who has a really refreshing personality, right? Like, really knows how to handle herself in conversation, you know, still feminine, you know, good sense of humor. You know, those things make a difference to a man who's looking for something. You know, women think it's all about sex for men, and it's after a certain age, it's not. If you had an active bachelor life, like I had an active bachelor life when I was really young, it gets corny, man. By the time I was like, look, I'm just ready to settle down. Like all the rest of this stuff, I have my memories and all that. You know, I'm ready to build with somebody, right? So, yeah, I mean, the 90-day rule, it all depends. It depends on what you're looking for. If you're not looking for anything serious,
I think the worst thing is to do the 90-day rule with somebody, and then when you finally do it, the sex is whack. I think that's like I waited all this time, and you can't even get it out. I waited all this time, and the sex is freaking horrible. I wait all this time, and you ain't even got no libido. Oh my God! I think that's
that's not wasted. That's not wasted time though. I don't think. I mean, if you got to know the person and you guys finally have sex, it's not like this. You know, this is not the sex Olympics, right? Like you know, like I wasted time. I could have had 4 or 5 guys. You know what I mean? In 90 days, like. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
I guess what I mean, like you, it's not a waste of time because you got to meet somebody new. But if you find out that the man that you've been drooling and you just couldn't wait, and then they end up being a minute man, and you mad because you done waited 90 days, and it lasted for 1 minute, you know what I'm saying? Something like or they was almost like I don't know. I guess that's the session liberated me.
I think I would be devastated. I would look.
That's what you get for making them wait 90 days. He probably had 90 days worth of anxiety.
I would be devastated.
I've had that happen to me before. A guy was so nervous, and you know his performance was less desirable than I would have liked. But he told me, he said, you know, you make me nervous. I didn't think you would go out with me. I'm like, well, why not? You know, so, and then after a while, you know, and was he the best lover I had? No. But he was one of the nicest men I ever went out with. And I am pissed that I was not prepared for the love that he was willing to share. And he was older. And see, I don't really base age like, oh, my God, I don't want nobody. No, I don't want nobody 30, 40 years older than me. No, I don't want to be, this is my baby, and he got on an oxygen tank and I'm wheeling him down the ramp in his wheelchair. I don't want that. But he was probably about, a good 15, 17 years older than me, and he was very mature, which is what I like. I mean, there was a lot of things about older men that they can teach you. That younger men just have not acquired that wisdom yet. And then I've also went out with the younger guy, and I'm like, well, you are way too young for me. You're way, no, I don't do young men. Y'all wild, y'all this, y'all that. But this guy was like a young guy with an old soul. All he liked to do was go to work. You know, he liked having nice things, but he would work like 70, 80 hours a week, and he just wanted to chill. Just somebody he can hang out with, be cool. And I'm like, why are you even? He said, you know, I love older women. He said, one, y'all smart, you know, y'all loving, you know how to treat a man. He said, you're absolutely a veteran in the bedroom. A lot of stuff the young girls don't know how to do. He said, I just, you know, but I'm like, I can't, no. I could not skip past the age deficit, so I was like, no. And I'm sure he's a great guy, but like Patrick was saying, you know, I've already had children, and so I don't want no more children. Oh, it would be nice if we could have a baby together, like maybe for you. You know, I'm going to be looking for the tallest building in Columbus, Ohio to jump off. That would not work for me. I'm done. You know, when your babies have babies, well,
right.
But yeah,
we got another caller.
So some older guys are the bomb. Some older guys are the bomb. I almost thought I was gonna have to, you know, pack me up the nightcap and just sit up in front of McDonald's or White Castle's first thing in the morning, because that's where they at.
Wow.
Know? No, I'm just
saying. White Castles, girl. White Castles. So there's a caller on the line, so I'm gonna bring the caller on the line, and so they can join the conversation. So caller, your number starts with 716. Please state your name and where you're from.
Oh no, I'm chilling, yo.
Oh Lord.
Oh, y'all already know.
Yeah, listen,
so what are your thoughts?
Yo, I don't even know what y'all talking about.
You know,
we talking about the 90 days.
Okay, so we're talking about act like a lady, think like a man. So we're really talking about relationships. So the question is, the 90-day rule. Like, what do you feel about the 90-day rule as far as making a woman or a man making each other wait 90 days to have sex? What are your thoughts about that?
I think that shit is trash.
Huh? What'd you say? What'd you say?
He said garbage. He said garbage, trash. But why? Why do you think that's trash? Would you not want to get to know the woman first, or that's not what you're there for?
Yo, I don't think that's the determination. I'm gonna be honest with you. So
okay, well then, educate.
You have a conversation. Let the energy decide. Who the hell came up with 90 days? You let the energy decide. If the energy may decide, it may take. He don't deserve it to 120 damn days. The energy may decide he don't never deserve it. The energy may decide that nigga need to get this shit right now.
Right.
Vice versa. Let's be clear here. Women need to be handled too. They also be handled. So let's stop that shit. You know, you don't have sex with women like that. You got some women out here just hot, ain't been touched right in a long time, and need that thing go out. Fuck it. Some can y'all wait? Can y'all wait 90 days? Nah. You let it. We all grown. You let the energy decide. Fuck all that.
Indeed.
If the energy tell you, bang that nigga out right, go ahead.
I was wondering where you were. I'm like, now where is Nick? Where is Nick? He don't miss us, but I knew you was coming, and I'm glad you did, because I'm ready to rebuttal that. I mean, yes, you grown, but you don't know this person. I mean, and let's say you take a pack of condoms. You decide you're gonna go ahead and you just go ahead and quit it, and it's been an exciting night. And you out of condoms, you still want to do so. You telling me that's it? Is that it? That's over? Do y'all just go from that to oral, or is it just over? Or are you gonna go ahead and get it? But you only known her for about a week. She thinks nice, got a job, but that's really all you know about her. So what do you do? What do you do?
This is what, sweetie. There is no. Patricia, you know my beef with you is there is no one rule to this shit. You can sit the fuck down, read a book, eat the pussy, finger her, go the fuck home, or go get some more goddamn condoms. There are so many options here.
So, since you called my name out, Nick, I think, in my opinion, so my thoughts are a lot of times when men and women make each other wait. If one of the people have a high libido, then I don't know if that person really be honestly waiting. I don't know if they be, over there, like I said, with Sally, unless they in the bathroom with themselves. Like, if you got a high libido, well, I don't know if they really are honestly waiting, even though if they're trying to make the other person think that they're waiting. And then once you do give in, let's say you do finally get to that point, and then sexually they're not able to satisfy you, even though they're a wonderful person. He's such a wonderful guy. He just buys these flowers and cars and candies and all that kind of stuff. But in the sex for the apartment, he can't get it up. Like if you're a sexually if your libido is high, I don't know how long you can sustain in a relationship that is not sexually fulfilling, even if the person is like really, really great. Or you might be with him, but then you might have that side cut, the little jack, like, hey, baby, he ain't got the know type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Well, I know.
And I don't know if you find that out in the first conversation.
When I went out with that guy, he wasn't the best, but because I enjoyed him for who he was, I didn't have a desire to cheat. I was in it to win it. Like I said, I was the one who was not prepared for a great man. Well, I guess the first time I ever came across a true ass stallion. But I wasn't prepared. But it didn't make me want to cheat. It didn't want to be like, oh, he can't fulfill me, because he fulfilled me in so many areas in my life, mentally, and just, he had his own, and he could do his, what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I guess once you get a certain age, sex is great. I'm great at it, but
so he was
it is
paying
no
bills,
longer
Marie?
a high priority.
The bottom line, he was paying bills. He was paying bills. That's why he didn't care about the sex.
No,
he was
it wasn't even that he was
taking
paying
you
bills.
out.
No, he wasn't paying bills at all. I mean, if I needed anything, I had it. But, I work hard, so I'm going to have it regardless. But my thing is, I enjoyed his level of maturity and his intellect, and just, I enjoyed him. I enjoyed him to the point where, it filled me enough. Plus, I'm older, so, having sex is not like the best, like it was the top 1, 2. Oh, he got to be able to hang. He got to be able to do this. In my 20s and 30s, that was mighty important. I'm 51. That's not a high priority. And I'm towards my peak. I am I'm pretty damn great. Not to toot my own horn, but to me, sex is not a high priority. It's not. It's not. And because I stay athletic and because I stay in shape, a lot of men, I'm knowing going in that a lot of men are not going to be at my level. They're not. And once a woman hit her peak, most men can't really hang. They can't. And I know where I'm at. And I'm more sexually mature. So a lot of men just can't. It depends on your level. It just depends on your level of maturity. I can't deal with an asshole. I won't deal with an idiot. So it's just certain. There's just certain standards. So I think it depends on you and that person. Because to me, if his penis is not like in 2 inches from the floor, that's not going to be like, oh yeah, bye. No, I'm just not. There's more to life than that. And if you love somebody, then you should be able to see past that. But if you just in it for a swing thing and they ain't swinging, like, baby, you at the wrong playground.
But I think it depends on what your libido is. Like, I feel like if you have a high libido, understand what I'm saying? Like you said, women, a lot of times when we get older, believe it or not, women's libido go up. We be like, party over here, where men who've been swinging from left to right all through their years, they might be tired, and little Johnny may not even be up for the march, completely or whatever. But I just feel like it depends on your libido. You can have someone that you love, that you care for, and all that kind of stuff, and y'all can be great friends. But if you know that is also something that's important to you, then I think that you should be honest with it and not be swinging them along and staying in a relationship with them and getting all the other good things while you screwing somebody else on the side. And I think a lot of times that happens, and that's why they got all these freaking side chicks and side guys, because they're not being sexually fulfilled, but they love the person. Be their friend then. You know what I'm saying? Be their friend.
I'm glad we got you men on the phone, because I don't think it has nothing to do with that. I think for some reason, I don't know what it is. And a man is crazy. A very good friend of mine since we were like 6 or 7. He told me, he said, I love my girl Maria. I love her. It's a man thing. Sometimes a man just needs some strange, and I'm like, I don't understand that. I just don't understand why. If you get caught, you're going to hurt her. I'm like, but yet instead y'all live together, y'all together. So I don't understand why is it. He said it's a necessity that a man have. I'm like, that's bull. But I'm not a man. He's like, you're not a man. You ask a man. And now we have 2 men on the line, and I want to know.
Yeah, so let's ask them. Yes, okay. So Patrick, we're gonna start with you. You know what I'm saying? You answer her question, and then we're gonna come to you and Alex. It's Alex. We're going to come to you, Alex, and you ask Nick. Damn, Nick. Sorry. We're going to come to you, Nick.
Who you calling? Rename the brother Nick thing.
Then
we're gonna come to you, Nick, and you answer the question. So you first, leave me alone. So you first, Patrick. What is your response to R. Marie?
Are you asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you.
Wait,
all right, listen, women. Listen, there are men that just cannot they're not aroused by the same woman over a period of time. They're aroused by the experience. It's the experience that gets them going. And so if they have a woman for a certain period of time, they need another woman because it's that new experience that turns them on. It just is. It's that experience with this other person that they've never been with that turns them on. That's just the basis of it. I mean, some men are just like that.
Side chick, Patrick.
Excuse me?
That's your excuse for the side chick because they need a new experience.
That's the way, man. I know it sounds funny to women, but that's just the way it is. Some men are turned on. There are a lot of men who admit, I cannot be with the same woman for a long period of time. I have to have other women. That's the experience that excites me. It's just the way it is.
Nick, do you agree with that? What is your thought?
I mean, with all due respect, yes and no. I agree, but I don't. I believe that, one, so many men are so broken and so fucked up. A lot of men do this shit. They don't even happy. They don't even want to do this shit. A lot of men do it because they know they have failed themselves, insecure, hurt, broken, not dealing with their shit or don't know where to deal with their shit, but they need women to be their cheerleader. They don't even like the headache that comes with shit. But you know what? If I can conquer 20 women, that distracts me from my reality that, yo, you bullshitting and you ain't handling your business. A lot of men use women as cheerleaders, and that's it.
Yep.
And while we're there, we're going to get some sex too. But it's not even the sex that's even most important. It's the fact that you calling me, the fact you wake up doing sweet shit for me, that I know I don't deserve. When I look at myself, I know I don't deserve this. But you give me that hope, you give me that false hope, because I'm lying to you, and you see the great in me, or you think you see the great in me, that I know I don't want to be responsible to what's not there right now. That's one reason a lot of men do all that shit.
That is so deep. And I absolutely 100% believe it. I believe you.
So it's not so much about the sex. A lot of times men need to feel wanted. They need to feel like they have a purpose, which they have not identified their own purpose for themselves yet. Now that's one side. Now the other side, I mean, I'm a nasty nigga all day long. So when I talk to a woman, I don't need all these different experiences. We just need to have a grown-ass conversation. Are you nasty as hell, too? We too grown to pretend. We too grown to act like we don't like what we like. So I really don't have time for all the roundabout conversation. We need to get this shit established right now. Not saying you got to give it to me tonight, but I think you need to know what bill was in the mail. When that shit do come out, I need you to hit the floor like, whoa, I wasn't expecting all this. You need to know what the fuck coming. And I need to know what you expect from me too. There's too many women out here, there's too faking orgasms or just to have liberate yourself. If you like your ass ate, tell that nigga, yo, do you eat ass? You ain't gotta eat it tomorrow, but I'm expecting my ass ate. Period. We ain't got no problem telling you what we want. I love some of that shit.
Wait. You want what? What? You know what? What is this? Hell no. But you know what?
PG-13 show. I don't even know what show.
I mean, I know there's people who do that. Ain't no fucking way I'm doing. You know, maybe because I'm a nurse. You know, I'm like, this is your toxic waste. I'm looking at everything. Medically, I didn't have the man like, oh baby, I like hitting it from the back. I'm like, yeah, but are you aware that causes your sphincter? That causes your sphincter.
Wait. But that's not the point. The point is, you want what you want. So what you won't do? Talk about what you want to do. This ain't about putting judgment on what other people like. It's about what works for you. That's it across the board that you got to do. What works for you? When you talking to this man, entertain this man, or entertain this one, y'all need to discuss what works for y'all, not the status quo shit. That's why so many relationships go fucked up, because we are following rules that were never. There ain't no fucking rules. Right. People like different things in this world. You can't keep chasing what the hell they talk. Well, that's not normal. Fuck that. Right. It's normal with me, and it's normal tonight. What's up?
Exactly. That's right. So I got another question. So a lot of people say that men, when they cheat, they generally get caught. Like they not smart enough to not get caught. However, women can cheat, and the man will never know about it. What are y'all thoughts about that?
I don't agree with that. If that shit happens, I don't agree with that shit. If a man, that means he ain't paying your ass.
Hold on, because we can't hear everybody. Nick, you first answer that, and then we'll go on up the line so everybody can answer it. We'll start with the men and then go to the women. So, Nick, what did you say?
If your woman is cheating and you don't know for a period of time, that means you ain't paying no attention, and she probably deserves to be cheating on your ass anyway.
Right.
You can't fake nothing all the time. Period. Right. Now, if I ain't paying attention, that's one thing. But no one can fake anything all the time.
So before we go to Patrick with that question, we got another caller. So I'm about to bring the caller in. Caller, your number is 404, so I already know you're from the ATL, I think. Say your name and what would you like to contribute to the conversation?
Hey, this is Paul Posey. How are you?
Hi, Paul.
How are you? Hey. They're talking so much about eating ass and stuff like that. I forgot what the question is about. What the hell?
Is this PG-13 or R? Oh, my gosh. Take the wheel.
Yeah, well, hit me with the topic again so I can jump in, please.
So the next question that you actually just jumped in on, because I had to jump past that because Nick and Marie was about to take us on an X-rated route, so I had to take you to another question. So the question is, do you think there are people who say that a man can cheat and he will always be discovered, he will always be found out, the truth will always be out, but a woman can cheat and a man will never know that she's cheating? What do you think about that?
That is absolutely true. A woman plans in advance her next dick, whether it's going to be her man or just a hit. And she's going to plan it out, and her girlfriend's going to be on the plan, the dog's going to be in on the plan. Because because they say women cheat because what? They feel emotionally neglected. That's some bullshit because guys can't say the same thing, but that's what they say. So what they're going to do? They're going to plan to get what they need without getting caught. Is it fair? No. But, hey, if you're going to cheat, you might as well be great at it. I mean, and most men, they cheat with naked dicks. That's why they always get caught.
Well, I think that
What did you say your name was again? What did you say your name was again?
I'm Paul Posey.
Paul, okay. I'm sorry.
Yes.
So you said you think, because men get women pregnant, is that how they get caught? That's what you're saying?
No, not necessarily. Naked dick brings about emotions and connections.
I think that used to be the case. It's not the case anymore. Technology has advanced. Men are catching women. They're putting devices on their cars. I mean, the technology is just over the top now.
So you think women can't get caught cheating? I mean, they can be caught cheating. So they cheat less now because of technology?
No, I didn't say that. I said they get caught just as much as men do.
I would have to disagree with you on that, Patrick.
We checking. I know guys that are checking cell phones because we're technologically on top of things, right? we can get information that in previous times, like years ago, you couldn't get. So you couldn't catch her cheat. Now you can catch her cheat.
All right. Women who cheat don't cheat in their parking lot. They go at a distance, normally visiting family, normally visiting out of town. It doesn't matter where the cell phone's at.
No, it doesn't.
If they're gonna cheat, you gotta take it to a whole different level.
Listen, I can put a device in her purse and she'll never see it. I can tell exactly where it's going.
May I ask something?
It's easy now.
May I ask something, please? We got women on the phone.
This is a touchy subject for y'all men.
Wait. We got women on the phone.
It ain't touchy for me because I don't trust any woman.
We got women on the phone.
You got some type of security issues if you don't trust any woman for any reason.
No, you got that twisted. I got experience to say there's no need for me to trust you. It's not insecurity. It's not trust issues because you're a human being. Human beings will do what human beings do. It's okay. Don't take it personal because I don't trust you. I don't trust anybody because we have a free will. We have a free will that we will do whatever we want whenever we please, and we will find a way to do it. That's why we talk about women. I'm just saying.
The thing about women, let me just say this, and then we're gonna let the other women answer your question. So the one thing about women is we are emotional, and if we are not being if we're feeling depleted emotionally, we will oftentimes look for that emotional fulfillment somewhere else. That is the truth. Women are emotional, but it takes more, in my opinion, and the other ladies may or may not agree with me, but it takes more for a woman to actually step outside the relationship. And most of the time, we are begging y'all and pleading with y'all ahead of time, like y'all already know what we're asking y'all for, whether it be time, whether it be conversation, whatever it is, we're telling you, because women are verbal. We don't hide how we feel. So by the time we get to the point where we stepping out, we done got exhausted with begging you for it. What you worried about?
Then go ahead and move out. Just like you say about men, if you're not satisfied with who you with,
right,
just go ahead and get out the relationship.
So with a woman, when you worry about a woman is when she becomes silent. When you got a woman who has been asking you and pleading with you and begging you and telling you how she feels and what she needs and how the relationship needs to be, whatever, when she becomes silent, that's when you need to find get some devices. So Kim, you're quiet over there, Kim. I want to know what your thoughts are.
Once the tears stop, once the begging stops, once the tears stop, and you're like, oh, I'm going out, bye. That's because you done already been replaced. To the left.
There you go. I stand by what I said. Absolutely.
But
that doesn't justify the action though.
Right.
You're gonna use that reason to go out and do what you do. If it's your last, you can leave the relationship. Isn't that what y'all say about men? We don't have to cheat. We should just leave the relationship. Same thing goes for the other side.
That's what I do.
So, Kim, because I know you itching over there, Kim. I know you want to jump in, Kim. You've been real silent, my sister. Go ahead and tell them because Kim said fuck your feelings. So go ahead, Kim. Tell them how it is.
Yeah, I told DJ, I said, I ain't going no hour this week not saying shit. That's
right.
So I got, it's two different ways I'm looking at this. First of all, women so-called cheat emotionally first. If she is emotionally detached, then she gonna go where her mind is being stimulated first. Second of all, as far as the men not knowing that she's cheating, any man, like Nick was saying, that's paying attention is gonna know. First of all, he know how he fits in her. That's gonna change. If she becomes intimate with somebody else, that fit changes. When you are with somebody for a certain amount of time, his penis or whatever and her vagina, they start to connect. They become the puzzle piece. You know what I'm saying? They are formed for each other. So when it changes, he know that ain't his shit. He knows something else impacted. He knows that because of the way that it feels. So that's another thing. The other part of that is when you look at
the whole term cheating, that means somebody didn't do what they agreed to do, right? So where does the cheating part actually come in? Like a woman will look at the man and say, "You cheated on me," if he steps outside of the relationship and gets whatever with another woman, and vice versa. But who actually cheated, right? If you all agreed to specific things on how this relationship is going to go, what you're going to give to each other, what you're not going to give to each other, whatever, in that agreement, if both people agree, you can't cheat unless somebody is not giving their part of the agreement. So the person who is not who is not honoring their part of the agreement, they're the cheater. The person who's going out looking for the part that didn't get fulfilled is not is not the cheater. They're looking for the part that the other person didn't fulfill to be fulfilled. If you're looking at it that way, who's the cheater for real? You said you were going to do this. You didn't do that. Because you told me you were going to do that, I've invested my time. I invested my energy. I invested my emotions. I invested whatever the hell it is. I'm looking for a certain outcome based on what you said you were going to do. So because you didn't do what you said you were going to do, you cheated me out of what I expected, because I based my next movement upon what you said or upon what we agreed upon. So who's the cheater? So if I go out and get that thing that you didn't give me, am I cheating or did you cheat me?
That's
there's silence.
Okay, so I hate to. No, it's silent because it's time for some music. I haven't had my music break, though. I'm sorry. You know I gotta have my music break. So I had to put everybody on mute. So I'm gonna take a quick little 2-song music break, y'all, and I'm gonna come right back because this is a hot topic, and I'm so glad we got men and women on the line. You know, act like a lady, think like a man. On the move, unscripted, on purpose, ladies roundtable discussion. This is rated R today, y'all. I know it is. I hope ain't no kids listening. But anyway, we'll be right back.
Say Levante. Man, when that beat drop, just let it roll, man. Love again. Yeah.
If I send the address to you to my crib, you should already know what it is. I ain't got that good D, you know that for sure. I don't love, got one foot in, one out the door. After, don't talk nasty, I'm gon' want more. Can't take this seriously, yeah. Remember, keep your feelings under your feet when you pack it up. 'Cause I don't wanna waste your time. Don't blue dress on, diamonds done, fur coat on, lipstick on. I put these on so you can take them off. Took me some time to get it ready. Don't make me wait, come break me down. I know you love for my love, so baby, don't make me wait, come take me. I don't wanna get freaky with you, but that's the only thing I wanna do. I said my pen, just come on through. You know how to touch me, baby, you got that fire, I can see it in your eyes. Please do not be shy, this is not the time or place. You can climb the tree, come play in the leaves. Take me down, yelling timber now till we hit the ground. Makeup done, high heels on, blue dress on, diamonds done, fur coat on, lipstick on. I put these on so you can take them off. Took me some time to get it ready. Don't make me wait, come break me down. I know you love for my love, so baby, don't make me wait, come take me. Calling, 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 calling for you, baby. Come and take me down, come and take me down, come and take me down. Calling, 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 calling for you, baby. Come and take me down, come and take me down, come and take me down. Took me some time to get it ready. Don't make me wait, come break me down. I know you love for my love, so baby, don't make me wait, come take me.
Yeah, yeah. She's gonna ride. I'ma let her ride. She could be my wife. She could be my wife. Double back and make it flip on her. Yeah, you know I let them hips on you. Yeah, you the one, no, I won't skip on you. Yeah, you the one, that's why I kiss on you. Hey, I know you the one, cause if I don't, then I be dumb. Hey, your shit be wet and sticky, I ain't talking about no gum. She asked why I be rapping, tell the truth, girl, it's fun. I'm the type to get some money, spend that shit just like it's none. Tell me if you wanna ride. We can ride through the night, unless you tryna go inside, You know you a snack, I take a bite, She's gonna ride. I'ma let her ride. She could be my wife. She could be my wife. Double back and make it flip on her. Girl, you know I let them hips on you. Yeah, you the one, no, I won't skip on you. Yeah, you the one, that's why I kiss on you. Hey, everything I say is so mental, not accidental. Think it's all inside my jeans like it's denim, I'm about to kill him. He gon' keep on doing drugs if he feel like it's gon' hit him. He gon' stay with all the thugs if he feel like they gon' get him. We was out that late night popping up, that's a walker. I remember late nights, whole block, they was all up. Every time they got some trouble, all them niggas, they gon' call us. They don't fuck with broke niggas, only fuck around with the ballers. Ride. I'ma let her ride. She could be my wife. She could be my wife. Double back and make it flip on them. Yeah, you know I let them hips on you. Yeah, you the one, no, I won't skip on you. Yeah, you the one, that's why I kiss on you. Yeah, you the one, that's why I kiss on you. I just wanna ride. She just wanna ride. Yeah. I could be a wife.
folks, so that's what we do. I think we start reading 9:30. We got 30 minutes, y'all, and then we out of here. So stay tuned and participate. The more we talk about things, the more we have an understanding as to what we need from each other. And we're back.
Of On the Move Unscripted. You know this is unscripted, so don't play like you don't know this is unscripted, because we say every week it's unscripted. So anything that's not going to, according to plan, that's the unscripted part. You understand what I'm saying? So we're having a ladies' roundtable discussion, but we got some men on the line too, and we're having a really, really deep conversation. You know what I'm saying? Just grown folks talk. So if there's any kids that accidentally slid by, y'all go home, go to bed, don't take out school tomorrow anyway. Like, this is definitely, you know, it's sliding on almost X-rated, about the R-rated, you know what I'm saying? It ain't PG. It's not even PG-13 tonight, so it is what it is, y'all. So I wanted to come back in our last few minutes of the show. I wanted to pose a question to everyone that's on the line. Do you think, if you find out that your significant other or your partner has cheated, do you feel like your relationship can recover from that? So I want everyone to take the time to answer this question, and I'm going to go one by one, and I'm just going to call out your area code or your name. Each person answer that question, so that way everybody has a chance, an opportunity to answer it, and try to do it within 3 minutes or so. For everyone who's not talking, please put your phone on mute so that we don't get the background noise. So I'm going to start with the men, and I'm going to go on up to the women. So I'm going to start with the caller, Paul. Paul, I'm going to start with you. Do you think, if you found like your significant other had cheated, do you think you could forgive them, and do you think that the relationship can be salvaged, or do you think it's over? What's your thoughts?
Am I unmuted right now?
Huh?
Am I unmuted right now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good to go. Been there, done that. And I would say the marriage was over. Trust was shattered. And she's here in the house right now because we have grandchildren. So my responsibility to our heritage is more important than the marriage that was broken, the trust that was broken in the marriage. And I don't think I could ever marry her again, because when you step out on your partner, they see a different side of you that you don't normally see. And if you can't stand the sight of their alter ego or that person that they are pretty much yearning to be, because of lack of of something you didn't hold in your relationship, then you might as well go ahead and leave. And I couldn't stand the person that I saw, because that was diabolical. Not to say I was an angel either, but it's just that I could not recover from the person that I saw. But I had to move on and do the right thing for my family. We still have a cordial, and we still have a friendship, because most people in relationships don't have friendships at the same time. So the friendship was salvaged, but the marriage and relationship wasn't. And I can't tell other people what to do about when they come to that crossroads. But follow your heart, because if you can't fully 100% get beyond what happened, you will revisit it again. And then that's just nasty right there. That's emotionally nasty, because you said you got over it, but you really didn't. And then it just hurts everything you do forward. That's all I got to say about it.
Wow, that's deep. Okay, so that's deep. Okay, so thank you very much for sharing your thoughts on that. So I think Nick got tired of hanging. You know what I'm saying? You know how Nick do. He come in, say what he got to say, and roll on out. So then we're going to go on down the line to Patrick. Patrick, you still on the line?
I'm still here.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on that, Patrick?
I can forgive, but the relationship is over. Immediately. I mean, that at that point, the relationship is over.
That's really deep. So I'm curious to what the women say, because women we're more forgiving. So let me go up to Missy. Missy, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts to what Paul and Patrick said, and what are your thoughts about a marriage being able to be salvaged?
I'm gonna say yes and no. I have a hard time with forgiving because I'll never forget. So I don't think that for myself, it will be over. I'm good because it ain't gonna do nothing but make me, it ain't gonna do nothing to relive it over and over and over again. So I'm cool.
Okay. So what about?
That's why I'm by myself too.
Wow. So what are your thoughts on that, Marie? Both answering what Paul and Patrick said, and then also Misty. Like, and what's your thoughts? Like, what do you think?
I understand each of the gentlemen's and Misty's response to that situation. I personally have lived that situation with my husband because marriage meant a lot to me. So the first time he cheated, I did forgive him. I felt like had we went to some type of counseling, be it a pastor or a professional, then we might have gotten it ready. But the thing about that, when you get caught, the thing is you're caught, and you just want forgiveness to help ease your guilt. That's my personal thought. But I felt like that I loved that man enough. We had a family, a young family, and I really wanted my marriage. I loved him, so I dealt with that, and we got over it. And it took a while for me to retrust. But when it happened again, I was broken the first time, but I was shattered, but the second time I was shattered. Because then if you I'm not, because we're humans, we will make mistakes. And something that probably never should have went that far and lines were crossed. So you're going to look at that person different. But when I forgave my husband the first time, I was really, I didn't, when we did get in arguments, I didn't bring it up. Because if you're going to forgive them, you must forget. You have, either you're going to, you can't say I forgive you and let's move forward. And the minute you get into an argument, like, oh, that's why you cheated with that, but I'm also not that type. I'm not going to keep bringing it up over and over again. But once it happens twice, and with that, we were together a long time. He was my first true love. That was my high school sweetheart. So it was different. He is the only man I could say that I held at a different level, because I was learning. But like now, in my age today, if somebody was to have cheated, as open as I am and as honest as I am, and you felt like you could not come talk to me, or, if we were having an issue, or it was just something that was a fling and didn't mean nothing to you, then that means that you could have potentially put my life in danger for a little fling, which means I'm not worth what you portrayed that I was. So, and on that instance, I would not stay. But I can honestly say every relationship I've been in, and I haven't had that many relationships, but every relationship that I've been in, I am friends with everybody. The one that took the longest was my husband, but now he and I, we're great. We're cool.
Okay, that's deep. Okay. So, Deshaun, are you still on the line? Because you've been silent as a freaking mouse.
I am. I just been obedient. I've been muted when I'm not talking. But, listening to this. So I've been, both sides. And for my husband, we got married early, like young, and he cheated the whole time. If there is cheating, it just depends on each person. So you got to be, you got to look at the situation and see it for what it is, and maybe this person isn't going to change. So it's hard to say, when you really love someone and they've cheated, it just doesn't go away like that overnight. Okay, you're upset, it hurts, but you still want to be with them. So then you have to be honest about forgiveness. because you can say you forgive, but you really can't. Or you really can't. Or you really can. But again, it's being honest. It's being honest. You know, you got to look at why it happened. And you got to be honest of why. Maybe there's a problem. Maybe there's an issue. Maybe there's a spirit. Maybe there's, you know, so you got to be honest. And it can be so many different things. So I guess you first got to see why is it a forgivable thing? Is it a forgivable situation? I mean, there's so many, it's just not one certain way. But I guess it's just being honest and put it all on the table and making a decision.
So I just want to say this, and then I'm going to go to Kim. I think that for some reason, I think that women are much more forgiving. In my opinion, women are much more forgiving than men when it comes to infidelity. Men can be cheating throughout the relationship, and you know, and the woman has to keep forgiving them. The woman gets fed up, cheats one time, the man's done. Like I think that women are a lot more forgiving. For me, I went through it in my marriage. For me, it was devastating because when it happened for the, you know, again, and when it happened within the marriage, it was deeper to me because at the time I was pregnant, and the person that my ex cubed with was not even the same race as me. So that was like a double whammy to me. That was like, you know, and there was emotionally at that time there was no coming back at that time. But then we divorced, and there was separation between us, and I guess because the feelings were still there, we ended up coming back together even after that, and we tried it again. But I don't know if I ever really forgave him the way I should have, and I don't know if he did. Like, I don't know if we really have forgiveness. I think it can be overcome, but like they said, the trust and the forgiveness definitely has to be there. You have to forgive. If you're not able to forgive, then there's no need of even trying. And if you're going to forgive, but then you're still going to do the same behavior, then it's like, you know, why? You know, so for me, it was like when it happened to me, at that point I couldn't forgive. But then over time, we tried it again, but and even though I gave it another chance, I had not truly forgiven him. And because I hadn't truly forgiven him, I didn't have the trust. I think it's different in a marriage versus a relationship. In a relationship, when they cheat, it's a wrap because I ain't committed to you. So why stay in this and I already know that those are your characteristics. In a marriage, it's a little bit deeper because the commitment is deeper. That's my feeling. So what are your thoughts on that, Kim?
I do agree with what you're saying. There are so many different aspects of it. So, of course, I'm going to give you the one that's logical, and then I'll give you the one that is more of the reality. So the logical part, like DJ was saying, is to know the why. And in the why, there has to be an accountability held on both ends. Like I was saying before, you know, if you have agreed to do and or be a certain way in your relationship and you have faltered on your end of the agreement and your partner then goes out and finds somebody to fulfill your end of that agreement who actually cheated, you know, there is an accountability on both ends. You know, if I'm not doing what I said I'm going to do, I'm at fault for that. If you're not doing it, but it goes both ways. If you're not doing what you said you're going to do in it, then there's fault in that. There's responsibility on both ends. So the logical part would be to look at the information solely as that. What actually happened? You know, how did it get to this point? What did we miss? What did we not do? How do we fail ourselves individually and then collectively as this unit? You know, what did we do or what did we not do? Let's fix that. That's the logical part. The emotional part, though, which it cannot be denied, is that becomes difficult because there is a trust
issue. There is a bond. There is a soul exchange. There is a level of commitment. You know what I'm saying? You will look at your partner different, like, well, how could you do this to me? Or you'll look at yourself as to, why am I not good enough now? You know what I'm saying? What is it about me that made you see that I'm not enough? That becomes the part, I think, that is the most hurtful on either side. And I'm just speaking from, since I'm not a man, I'm speaking from what I have heard in other relationships and just what I think, okay, this is just my view, that men have a harder time, if it's even possible, for them to come back from infidelity. Because there's a thing that they have that with their woman, it's their woman. Their woman is their pride. You know what I'm saying? That's my woman. They know that they can go home to this woman. They know that they can release inside this woman. They can become themselves or be themselves inside this woman. There's a certain connection inside this woman. And to know that another man now has that same connection, it takes something from him that cannot be replaced. You can't restore that. No matter what he says, I forgive you, he is not going to be in the same place. His attachment to her is not going to be in the same place. It can't be, because what he viewed to be solely his, that special place for him, somebody else now has access to that. It's not special no more. So like I said, I'm not the man. I'm answering just on how I think, but that's what makes sense to me.
So we need. So the men. So answer. One of the men answer her. What was she saying? True?
Yeah.
That's overrated. That's looking on the top level of the pie. When you dig down deep inside, some men do forgive their wives. They do. But with humans,
we just generalize. We're just, we're not saying everybody, but it's just a general thing.
Yeah, but the idea is, I did accept it, and I tried to move forward. But it's the person. It's not it's not the act. It's the brain that put forth the act. That's what I look at. We can talk about the physical part of it, but it's the word I used was diabolical. It's the plan to do what you did and how you made it happen. So, no, I could not have that on my team anymore.
Let me ask you this. Right. Okay, well, let me ask you this.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah. True. I agree. I 100% agree, because it's easier to just, like, you know what, I can't do this, and I don't have the energy to go through the stuff behind it. But, like, when you forgave and you tried to move forward, did you did you try to go to counseling? Did you, when y'all got into an argument, did you bring it up? Or, I mean, because something had to have happened, because y'all went back to trying, and then it unfolded again. So either you got tired of trying, or she got tired of being a wife.
Let's talk about counseling. Counseling on an individual basis is probably what you need, because if you're counseling a marriage that has rocks in it, you're just trying to arrange those rocks so you can stay married. But your problem started before you got married. One of you have a problem that needs to be worked on before you got married. So if you want to put some salve on it and stay together and just bear down and grit it and stay married, I don't know how long that's going to last, because individually you have to fix what's wrong with you so you can be in that relationship. Some people commit so fast they have not done the work on themselves. So you're hoping and you're praying inside your relationship to try to keep it together. But individually you're responsible for who you've become. And if you haven't done any soul searching before you got in that relationship, cheating may occur.
To piggyback off of what you just said, I got another question. Why is it when a relationship ends that men are able to bounce into another full-fledged relationship, even married so freaking quickly when they were supposed to love the first person? How is it that men are able to move on so easily. I never understood, like, if you really love the person you were with, even though you went through hard times, how the hell
I can answer that.
2 weeks later you got another woman
Please answer
and
that.
go engage?
I can answer that, and we don't have to argue about it.
Men don't like being alone. I would rather
No,
hear
that's
it from
not
a man.
true. Listen. You ask the man a question, the man's going to answer the question. We're not going to take
Answer
y'all
the question,
idea of what a man can say.
Okay.
So, can we agree that women are emotional beings?
Yes, 90%.
Okay. Can we agree men are logical beings? Can we agree on that? Okay.
Yes.
There's your answer right there. We don't live and function like you function. You keep telling me what women do, but we're not women. So how we deal with things is how we deal with it. If we had the capacity to have the level of emotions that y'all would have, we would probably be better off. Or if y'all had the capacity to logically look at a relationship like a man, and we all be in the same boat. But you're in the emotional boat, we're in the logical boat. So logically, we can move on, but the residuals of the pain of the relationship are still there, even though we can function and go on to another relationship. And it'll eventually rear its head up because it's like a delay reaction to our emotions of what really just happened. So we're just going to move on. So we can't function like you guys, and we will never change positions.
But, like, that also makes you, like, if you let one person, if I'm not mistaken, it was you, Patrick. You know, if you like, because you said I'll never trust a woman again. So what you basically are doing, a man told me right directly out of my marriage, and it was my very first date, and I dogged this guy. I was mean to him, and I consistently talked about how horrible my husband was. And he told me, he said, you know what? He said, it's not going to be a second date. He said, I'm sure you're a really nice person. He said, but you so attached to your anger that you have not allowed yourself to get over it and get it out the way. And every relationship that you try to jump into until you get your shit together, you're going to bring that same baggage and that same angry, distrusting energy. And he said, and you're not going to ever have a good relationship until you can release and let that shit go. And and he probably forgot my name by now. And he told me, I remember this as clear as that. Back in '97 is when it was told to me. And to this day, I still remember it. And when I get out of a relationship, I take that time to reflect, you know, not just on what he did wrong, what I could have done better, because I want to be a better woman for the next relationship. But I don't want to walk into a relationship with somebody who is, you know, is not going to trust a woman because like, don't crucify me for somebody else's sin, you know.
Well, I
and
think
that's
you took
what
that wrong. First, you took that wrong. First, you got my name wrong, and then you took my statement wrong. I said I don't trust nobody. It has nothing to do about the level of being in relationships. It's just what I said about people. You can't trust people because you don't know where they come from. You don't know what they've been. You don't know their baggage. So you can't trust them.
That's why you
and that's coming from the door. Now, I'm not saying I can't love and I can't care for them, but trust is very important. And my name is Paul. Okay?
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I thought it was Patrick.
Call me Patrick. That's my cousin.
My name is Patrick.
Right.
Yeah,
Patrick, I thought you were the one that said, I don't trust any women. I don't trust anybody. I'm sorry, Paul Poovey.
It's all good. It's all good. But me not trusting gives me a chance to sit back and look at the whole person. When you give trust first, they chip away at it because you find out things later. And then you have the acceptance in your relationship. Well, I put in 3 months of emotional investment, so I'm going to stick it out, and then you stay in there too long. See, sometimes you have to watch them before you engage them and call yourself in a relationship with somebody. If you're in a relationship in 30 days and 3 months, you don't know that person well enough to say, I'm going to be committed to him. Because why? We know, and we talk about it all the time, what we find out after we commit with people. All the time. So are we screening right? Are we asking right? Are we looking for the right things? Or we just want to get to that emotional feeling, that feeling, before we can logically evaluate and investigate who we're about to be with.
So I got 10 minutes left. We have 10 minutes left of the show. So I just want to ask Patrick real quick. Do you agree with Paul?
No, that's his thing. I don't. No, I there are people in my life that I trust, and there's just different levels of trust, and you just have to trust people from where they are. I have friends that I don't trust with money, but I trust them with other things, right? Like it depends on who it is. There's different levels of trust, but no, I don't. I'm not a person that says I don't trust any human being on the face of the planet. No, that's not me.
What about Nick? He ain't said nothing.
Cash out me $100, please. I'll get back to you
Nick
next
been
week.
rolled out. Nick don't stay long. Nick say what he got to say.
Oh,
He did a whole bunch of records and he rolled out. I think that if you're someone who you're going into a relationship not trusting, then there's some things that's going on or that has happened that you haven't really dealt with yet. So that's what I'm saying as far as jumping into a relationship before you have emotionally healed from the last one. I think that men, like you said, I can understand what you're saying as far as being intellectual, and y'all deal with things on a mental level, whereas women are emotional. But when you jump into another relationship with someone, you're automatically jumping in not trusting because of what happened in your last one, and then it's like you're taking out your just trust on this new person that they haven't done anything to show you or give you proof that they're not to be trusted. Like I feel like when you get with someone,
it's okay.
You should trust people. Everybody should get that. You should get that trust until they do something.
Well, the reason I say it's okay because you're assuming that every man jumps into another relationship. I haven't been in a relationship in 4 years. It's not about me not trusting anybody. I'm going through the full interviewing process to watch a person's life before I do commit to somebody. And if you know what you're looking for, you have to say whether I can accept this or not. And if you can't accept it, then don't accept the relationship. There's nothing wrong with that.
So you just basically prove to us that we as individuals, men and women, should not stereotype everybody from what we experienced from the last person. So you just showed.
Now wait a minute. There's a word called experience, life experience. You learn from that, and do you apply some rules so those things don't happen again?
But
why not?
Yeah, and I think that's right. But I think we you're right. I mean, we have to. I mean, I've run into women that have been angry, because of what has happened to them in the past, and I'm just like, yeah, it's cool that you might be asking me 1,000 questions about this thing because the last guy you dealt with was whatever, but I'm not gonna go through it because I don't know who you picked him. I didn't pick him for you. You picked him.
That brain you used. I'm just
saying. So that's that person. That person picked them. I'm not gonna take any arrows for somebody because you picked a bum. I'm supposed to take arrows. Hell no.
I learned to ask more questions. I learned to be more attentive. Absolutely. Not just how I feel about a person. I like people. But I know there's things that come before you start letting them be in your home and drive your car and you paying somebody's bills and things like that. I mean, why not? Why not do it that way? Because women don't do it that way. Women pick a man, and she says, I am going through it with him. This is the one I want to be with, thick or thin, I'm right here. And then when thick show up, he's like, how the hell did I get here?
Right. Yeah, we got to choose better. I think that's the topic for another show. How do you choose? What are the parameters and what are the things?
I wrote a nice little book. You might want to check it out. That's what I've been doing the last 4 years is evaluating how we got here.
You wrote the book already?
Yeah, I actually wrote a book. Yes, I have. Check me out. Visit my page.
We got 3 minutes. So tell us tell us what the name of your book is and where to find it.
The book I wrote is called Be Undumpable. It talks about the relationship really starts with you before you get with somebody else. That way you'll know who's worthy of being with you after you love you and do some self-care first. And then you'll stop, as he said, stop picking bums. And that goes both ways. I didn't write a book I wrote a book to help people to come up with a slight process to think about being in a relationship.
What did you say the name of the book was again? What's the name of the book again?
I'll drop it in the thread. It's called Be Undumpable.
Okay,
it's on Amazon.
But these people, a lot of listeners are around the world. and they're not going to see Kim's post. So say the name of the book again, and your
the name of the book
name.
is I Am Paul Posey. The name of the book is Be Undumpable. It's on Amazon right now.
Okay. Be Undumpable
is not a real word. It's a word I came up with. Be Undumpable.
Okay. Be Undumpable. Oh, gotcha.
Yes.
All right.
It's
so,
a catchy name. I know most
you.
people's like, I'm undumpable already. Well, the idea is you have to put yourself in a position. And we've been talking. We almost got to the point to say it's about you first. And what you do when you're single will reflect in your relationship if you take the time out to do you. Not just jump into another relationship, as she says, which is totally unhealthy and unfair. I'm with you.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So I agree with Patrick. This is a conversation that is going to have to be continued because you know how Blog Talk do us. You know what I'm saying? We'll be in the middle of something big, and y'all be mad at me because you'll be like, and then they'll be like, thanks for calling Blog Talk Radio. So I don't want that to happen while we're talking. So I just want to, first and foremost, thank you, Paul Posey, for joining in on the conversation. And Patrick, thank you. And Nick, you know, we understand how you roll, Nick. We got you, boo. You know we love you. We know you listening from somewhere over there somewhere. You know, Kim, Deshaun, and Misty, you know, Armory, you know, did I say everybody? Yeah. Anyway, we appreciate y'all for coming by this week. It was a deep conversation, a little bit R-rated in some parts, you know what I'm saying? So I just have to put that, you know, R on there this time because this was deep. But let's come back again. Let's talk about relationships again because, you know, I think this is something that can help people, especially hearing it from a male and a female perspective. You know what I'm saying? Because women, we can think certain ways, but because we're emotional, we can't think like men, and men are mental and all that kind of jazz. So what was you about to say, Armory, in like 2.5 seconds?
I just want to say thank you to both of the men. I truly gained a new perspective on how men think from a man's point of view, which is really eye-opening to myself since I thought I knew y'all like a book, and I see that women are from Venus and men are from Mars. Like, oh, wow, I don't think nothing like that. He's right. That makes sense. It's like you helped me put some of the pieces of the puzzle together. So we'll just have to continue on.
We are. We're going to continue on. But I love it because, like you said, you know, men are from Mars and women are from Venus, you know. But there are times that ladies act like a lady but think like a man. It is what it is. So anyway, we'll be back again next week, y'all. I got 90 seconds. They're about to roll out on me, y'all. Peace and love to y'all. I love y'all.
Love y'all.
On purpose.
Have a
great evening. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thanks for coming.
Please tune back in.
Summer night on a summer day, what you say? Is it awesome, right? Is it awesome, right? Tattooed arms, flip the radio, we go. Is it awesome, right?